Hey guys, this is Mrs. Kublank. Today I want to talk about idioms, and this is a great book. It's a book that has saying idioms about animals. It's called The Wild-Goose Chase by Lydia Carlin, illustrated by Kelly Kennedy. It's published by Scholastic. So let's dive into some idiom tales. Notice it's tales, T-A-L-E-S. That means stories, not tales on an animal. The Wild-Goose Chase. Hi there, I'm Shirley Holmes and I'm a kid detective. Let me tell you about my latest case. Now here's a learning box, let me read it to you. Idioms are well-known phrases that mean something different from what the words actually say. Idioms use lively and colorful language to conjure up images in the reader's mind. For that reason, they are remembered and often passed down from generation to generation. Hungry as a bear and quiet as a mouse are two popular animal idioms. Let's read on to learn 12 more. It all started with a frantic call from Sam Crumpet, who told me to come right over. When I arrived at his bakery, he gave me the facts. Last night, as he snoozed on a cot in the kitchen, someone snuck in and ate his freshly baked blueberry pie. Now Sam was hopping mad. Now, it doesn't really mean that he has feet like a frog and is hopping. Let's go to the learning box. Hopping mad is an idiom that's used when a person is angry enough to jump into the air. What kind of animal is famous for hopping? A frog, of course, hence the frog feet. Let's continue the story. I began working on the case right away. I interviewed Sam. I examined the crime scene. I made a list of top suspects. Yep, I was one busy beaver. Let's dive to the learning box. Busy beaver is an idiom that describes someone who works extremely hard. Why? Beavers cut down trees, haul logs, build dams, and always appear to be very active. Look. See the beaver? Teeth, tail. My first suspect was a boy named Frankie Frisk. My reasoning? He was a sly fox, and he loved sweet treats, but Frankie didn't do it. In fact, he was home all last night reading a cake cookbook. You could even ask my mother, he said. There he is as a fox. Sly fox. Let's go to the learning box. Sly fox is an idiom used to describe someone who is clever and sneaky. Foxes, who are quick and quiet, have been perceived this way for hundreds of years. The gingerbread boy, the fox and the grapes, just think of all the folk tales that include sly fox characters. My second suspect was a kid named Mac McClaw. Why? He was a cool cat with a weakness for delicious desserts, but Mac had an excuse too. Last night, he was busy playing the sax. That's the short for saxophone. You could even ask my bandmates, he said. Let's go to the learning box to understand this one. Cool cat is an idiom that describes someone who is stylish and relaxed. Doesn't he look relaxed and wearing a jacket, shades, a cool hat, boots? Cats do seem like super cool creatures, don't they? My third suspect was a girl named Nellie Nay. She was always horsing around and playing silly pranks, but she didn't eat the pie either. Last night I went to a movie with Helen Hoof, she said. Then she told me to check out a kid named Barry Beluga. It seemed that Barry was a fruit pie fanatic. Let's go to the learning box. Horse around means to act in a silly and playful way. Long ago, farmers noticed that their horses would sometimes get in giddy moods in which they would whinny and prance around. The idiom horseplay is based on this same observation. That sounded like a solid lead, so I hightailed it over to Barry's house to hear what he had to say. Looks like a bunny, tail, and hopping motion. Let's go to the learning box. Hightail is an idiom that means to move in a great hurry. This phrase is based on the behavior of deer. Why? When they run, they raise their tails as a sign of danger. Be looking that next time you see a rabbit scurrying away. I arrived to find Barry in his backyard pool having a whale of a time. It was true, he had a passion for pies. In fact, He loved every kind except one, blueberry. The reason? Well, apparently that little blue fruit makes him break out in red spots. Clearly, Barry's not the pie thief. Let's go to the learning box. To have a whale of a time means to have a large amount of time. The idiom makes a lot of sense because whales are playful creatures. They are also the largest animals on Earth. Look at the picture. He's in the pool with a whale tail, and notice there's no blueberries. If it wasn't Frankie Frisk or Mac McClaw or Nellie Nay or Barry Beluga, then who ate Sam's freshly baked blueberry pie? This case was beginning to feel like a wild goose chase. Ha! That sounds like the title of our story. Learning box. Wild goose chase is an idiom that describes a situation that's hopeless and confused. Imagine how hard it would be to chase after a wild goose. Back in 1597, William Shakespeare used the phrase in his play, Romeo and Juliet. Luckily, I ran into a woman named Wanda Winger. Wanda was famous for her eagle eyes. She lived right next door to Sam's bakery and had some important information to share. I saw Sam sleepwalking last night, she said. Eagle eyes. Let's find out what that means. Eagle eyes is an idiom used to describe a person who sees everything. What does that have to do with eagles? These remarkable birds can spot prey that's a half-mile away. Wow, that is impressive. That's it. Sam must have sleepwalked from the kitchen to the front of the bakery and pigged out on the blueberry pie himself. Let's find out what pigged out means. Pig out means to eat a great deal of food. I think that's an easy one that we all know. Why? Among animals, pigs have a bad reputation for overeating. Pig out is an example of a modern idiom. The phrase was invented in the 1970s. I raced over to the bakery and told Sam my theory. I knew somebody was up to some monkey business. I just didn't know it was me, he said. Then he added, I guess that explains why I woke up this morning with purple lips and a terrible tummy ache. Let's go to the learning box about monkey business. Monkey business is a term used to describe goofy or naughty behavior. Other monkey-related idioms include more fun than a barrel of monkeys and I'll be a monkey's uncle. Case closed. Sam was happy to learn there wasn't a pie thief on the loose after all. And I was happy too. I had just solved another mystery. I guess you could say I was proud as a peacock. What does that learning box say about that? Proud as a peacock is used to describe someone who is brimming with self-confidence. With feathers fanned out, peacocks sure look proud. This vivid idiom is one of the oldest in the English language and was used in the 1300s by the famous writer Geoffrey Chaucer. Now, guys, we'll give a chance to figure out on a separate sheet of paper, match each idiom with its meaning. Horse around, eagle eye, busy beaver, monkey business, sly fox, high tail, proud as a peacock, pig out, hopping mad, wild goose chase, cool cat, have a whale of a time. So I'm going to give you a chance to take a look at these and figure out which one they match with based on our wild goose chase. I hope you learned a couple new things about idioms.